wanted. Kore ka chum chame la sandri.
Kangwa.
Ole.
Yeah.
Ku chame na le. Kore ya plan chika mathan no gompa pancha na minde sa ya.
Oh, the.
Drink chikne bet chika le ya piyon se na.
Yeah. Yes, Mrs.
In the archives of an ancient Tibetan monastery, there are said to be records originally written in India in the ancient Pali language and later translated into Tibetan dealing with the life of an extraordinary saint known to the Buddhists as Isa. The life story of Saint Isa closely resembles the life of Jesus Christ, revealing what may well be the lost years of Jesus. Our search for the legend of Saint Isa takes us to Srinagar, in the Kashmir Valley of India. It is here, north of Srinagar, in a remote ancient monastery, that scrolls telling of the life and death of Saint Isa were found. Northeast, along the Trans-Himalayan range in the India-China border of what was once Tibet, we find Leh, the capital of Ladakh. This ancient city lies in the Indus River Valley, high in the Kashmir region of India. Very few Westerners have ever visited this remote city, dotted with monasteries and castles of ancient kings. This road, approaching Leh, is paralleled by long prayer walls, each of these stones bearing a Buddhist prayer. 20 miles beyond Leh is Hemis, one of the principal Buddhist monasteries of the country. It was here, in 1887, that a Russian traveler named Nicolas Notovitch came after hearing stories of ancient writings about a man the Buddhists called Saint Isa. Notovitch approached the head lama at the Hemis Monastery with a request to see the writings, and was politely refused with the statement that perhaps he could see them on his next visit. Since getting there once had been an extremely arduous task, he had his doubts about returning. Shortly after departing, his donkey fell, and Notovitch broke his leg. He asked to be taken back to Hemis to convalesce, and during his second visit, the Lama relented. Notovitch had a member of his party translate the scrolls as he wrote down the verses. It is said that the scrolls are accurate records of the stories carried to the east by merchant caravans, and that the legend was written shortly after the caravans brought word of the crucifixion of Saint Isa. The manuscripts read to Notovitch by the Lama of the Hemis Monastery were collections of different copies written in the Tibetan language. They were translations of the original scrolls written in ancient Pali. The originals, Notovitch learned, were in the library of Lhasa in Tibet, where the Dalai Lama resided. In 1925, the late Swami Abhedananda, a direct disciple of Ramakrishna Paramahansa and founder of the Ramakrishna Vedanta Math in Calcutta, wrote a book about his travels in which he told of going to Hemis and seeing the same manuscript Notovitch saw. He had been skeptical of Notovitch's claim and was determined to find the scrolls or expose the fraud. His book, entitled Kashmiri o Tibeti, includes a translation of 14 chapters, a total of 224 stanzas relating to the life of Saint Isa. Stanzas strikingly similar to the Notovitch version. The Venerable Ventu Dharmawara, president of the Buddhist Center in New Delhi and founder of the Ashoka Mission, a monastic order, visited Hemis at Ladakh. There he was shown documents referring to the life of Saint Isa, both in the original Pali language and in the Tibetan translation.
Well, you see, I had known about the visit of Jesus to India and Tibet long before I visited Hemis in western Tibet, that is to say in Ladakh. Now when I went there, I made some investigation about the fact of the visit, and I had been shown the record which was written on old traditional paper made of birch bark. It was in Pali and the translation in Tibetan as well. And it is said that he had mastered the teaching of the Buddha as well as a greater part of Hinduism.
It was by chance that I got interested in the subject. I happened to be the director of archives, archaeology and research and museum in the state, and I would go to Ladakh often. We got stuck up there and we had no work, so we were in search of books. So I went to the Mauryan Mission Library to search out some books so that we could read. I became friendly with the caretaker of that Mauryan Mission. His name was Reverend Chatan Punsuk. He told me that he has a very interesting reference about Saint Isa. I said, what do you mean by Saint Isa? And he told me about Isa, what you say, Hazrat Isa, one of the prophets. The name of Nicolas Notovitch was there, and it came to light that he had come to Ladakh. He had stayed at this Hemis Gumpa.
Nicolas Notovitch stayed in this monastery for some days. During his stay, he befriended a Lama. The Lama shared some astonishing things with him. He showed him ancient scrolls which mention the story of Jesus in India. There are hundreds and thousands of ancient manuscripts in these archives. They contain discourses of the teachings of Buddha and great Buddhist monks of yore.
In the shadow of the cypress tree, I stumbled in its tangled roots, surrounded by the tree's forgotten leaves. My knees were bloodied, hands